Picture a world where the deadliest predator doesn't stalk the earth. It strikes from the sky. 3 million years ago, our ancestors weren't just dodging saber-toothed cats or massive hyenas. They were prey for monstrous eagles that could snatch a grown hominin in a heartbeat. Meet Koba, a lone Australopithecus afarensis, small, scrappy, and totally outmatched. His enemy? The Haast's eagle, a bone-crushing raptor with talons like switchblades and a hunger for blood. One wrong move and Koba's history. This isn't just a story. It's a heart-pounding, scientifically grounded battle that shaped humanity's survival. Can a tiny hominin outsmart the sky's ultimate killer? Stick around to find out. 3 million years ago, the savannas and woodlands of East Africa are a crucible of danger. Towering elephants, ancestors of the modern mastodon, trample through the grasslands, their footsteps shaking the earth. Packs of bone-crunching hyenas, larger than any today, slink through the shadows, their eerie laughs echoing at dusk. In the dense thickets, Dinofelis, a saber-toothed predator with fangs like curved daggers, waits for the unwary. This is a world where survival is a daily gamble, and for Koba, a young male Australopithecus afarensis, every moment is a test of endurance. Koba stands just over 4 feet tall, his frame wiry but strong, his dark eyes constantly scanning the horizon. His brain, only a third the size of a modern human's, is no match for ours in complexity, but it's a marvel of instinct and adaptability. He's no warrior, no match for the giants that rule this land. But Koba is a survivor, a master of opportunism in a world that offers no mercy. 2 days ago, a Dinofelis ambush scattered his small family group. His mother's panicked cries still haunt him, and the fate of his younger sister, who vanished into the tall grass, gnaws at his heart. Now, he's alone, navigating a landscape where every shadow hides a threat. Koba's greatest asset is his bipedal stride, a revolutionary trait that sets his kind apart. Walking upright, he can peer over the chest-high grasses, spotting danger before it strikes. His free hands, no longer needed for knuckle walking, clutch scavenged treasures. A handful of tart berries, a gnarled root, or, if he's quick, a wriggling lizard. His diet is a patchwork of whatever the land provides: fruits, seeds, insects, and the occasional small vertebrate. His strong arms, a legacy of his tree-dwelling ancestors, are his lifeline. With curved fingers and a grip like iron, he can scramble up an acacia tree in seconds, escaping the jaws of predators below. But Koba's world is about to change. A new threat looms, one that doesn't care if he's on the ground or in the trees. The sun beats down on the savanna, painting the landscape in hues of gold and green. Koba moves cautiously, his bare feet treading lightly on the cracked earth. He knows this land like a map etched in his mind. The cluster of acacias that offer quick refuge, the rocky outcrop where he can hide from prying eyes, the shallow stream where he can quench his thirst. Every sound, a twig snapping, a distant grunt, sends his heart racing. His survival depends on vigilance, on reading the subtle signs of the world around him. But today, as he kneels to dig for a starchy tuber in a sunlit clearing, a shadow passes overhead, too swift to be a cloud. Koba freezes, his instincts screaming. Something is watching him. High above, the Haast's eagle soars, a predator unlike any other. This is a what-if scenario, rooted in science. Native to ancient New Zealand, this colossal raptor hunted moa, flightless birds weighing up to 400 pounds, with talons as long as a grizzly bear's claws and a wingspan stretching nearly 10 feet. Its dives carried the force of a sledgehammer, capable of shattering bone and crushing skulls. Its eyes, sharper than any modern hawk, could spot a target from miles away. We're bringing this beast into Koba's world to represent the real aerial threats our ancestors faced. Fossil evidence, like the puncture marks on the Tong child skull, a young Australopithecus africanus killed by an ancient eagle, proves that birds of prey hunted early hominins for millennia. The Haast's eagle is a marvel of evolution, built for violence. Weighing up to 40 pounds, it's heavier than any living eagle, with a body honed for precision and power. Its feathers, a mix of dark brown and pale gold, blends seamlessly with the sky, making it nearly invisible until it strikes. Its talons, curved and razor-sharp, can pierce flesh and grip with unrelenting force. Unlike ground predators, which Koba can outmaneuver by climbing, this eagle can strike anywhere: open plains, dense forests, or even the treetops. It's an apex predator, a master of the skies, and it's hungry. Koba, oblivious at first, continues digging, his fingers clawing at the dry soil. The tuber is stubborn, but he's determined, his hunger outweighing his caution. Above, the eagle circles, its movements silent, its gaze locked on the small figure below. The hominin's upright posture, so useful for spotting land-based threats, makes him an easy target from the air. The eagle tilts its wings, adjusting its angle. The wind shifts, carrying the faint scent of Koba's sweat. The predator's muscles tense, its heart rate steady as it prepares for the kill. Then, with a subtle flick of its tail, it dives. The shadow grows larger, racing across the ground. Koba's instincts kick in. He glances up, and his blood runs cold. A massive shape hurtles toward him, wings tucked, talons outstretched. It's no ordinary bird. It's a monster, a feathered missile with eyes like twin daggers. Koba's world slows to a heartbeat. Death is coming, and it's coming fast. The eagle's dive is a blur of speed and terror, the air shrieking as it closes the distance. Koba doesn't hesitate, he bolts. His bipedal legs, built for efficiency, now churn in a frantic zigzag sprint across the clearing. The grass whips at his shins, the ground uneven beneath his feet. He aims for a sparse cluster of acacia trees, their thorny branches his only hope. The eagle's talons, gleaming like polished blades, slice through the air just inches from his back. Koba throws himself into the underbrush, rolling beneath a tangle of branches as the predator's claws snatch at empty air. His heart pounds like a drum, his breath ragged. He doesn't stop. Scrambling to his feet, he grabs the rough bark of an acacia and hauls himself upward, his powerful arms and curved fingers working in perfect sync. The canopy envelopes him, a maze of green and brown that feels like safety. This is his domain. Australopithecus thrives by living in two worlds, the ground and the trees. From a high branch, he clings to the trunk, his chest heaving, his eyes darting to the sky. The eagle pulls out of its dive with a thunderous flap, its massive wings beating the air as it ascends. It lands on a nearby dead tree, its talons gouging the bark, its piercing gaze fixed on Koba. The hominin is trapped. The trees, his usual refuge from hyenas and big cats, are now a cage. The eagle is no impulsive predator. It's a strategist, an ambush hunter with the patience of a seasoned killer. It knows Koba can't stay up there forever. Hunger, thirst, or exhaustion will drive him down, and when he moves, it'll be ready. Koba's mind races, his small brain processing the danger in primal bursts. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of a branch, feels like a countdown. The sky, once a distant backdrop, is now a guillotine blade hanging over him. Koba shifts his weight, testing the branch beneath him. The eagle's head twitches, its eyes missing nothing. He knows he can't outrun it in the open. Those wings are too fast, those claws too deadly. He needs to think, to use the one thing that's kept his kind alive for generations: cunning. But for now, he's stuck, a prisoner in his own sanctuary, with a predator that owns the sky watching his every move. Hours drag by, the sun creeping across the sky, baking the earth below. Koba's throat is parched, his lips cracked. His stomach growls, a hollow ache that mirrors the fear gnawing at his mind. The eagle hasn't moved, its silhouette a dark omen against the azure sky. Its feathers ruffle slightly in the breeze, but its eyes remain locked on Koba, unblinking, relentless. The hominin's muscles cramp from clinging to the branch, his fingers aching from the strain. He knows the open ground between his grove and the denser forest beyond is a death trap. One step into the grass, and the eagle will strike. Koba's mind, though small, is a furnace of instinct and observation. He survived by reading the world around him. The way wind bends the grass, the the patterns of shadows cast by clouds, the subtle shifts in animal calls that signal danger or safety. He's seen his family use distractions before, tossing stones to startle a hyena, rustling bushes to confuse a leopard. But this is no ordinary predator. The eagle's intelligence matches his own, its patience a mirror of his endurance. It's a standoff, a battle of wits between two creatures forged by millions of years of evolution. Koba scans his surroundings, his eyes darting from branch to branch. The grove is sparse, but there's a gnarled, thorny tree at its edge, its base a chaotic tangle of roots and spines. It's a natural fortress, a place where wings can't follow. But reaching it means crossing a gap in the canopy, exposing himself to the eagle's gaze. He needs a plan, a way to outsmart a creature that seems to anticipate his every move. He watches the eagle closely, noting its subtle shifts. When a distant antelope bounds through the grass, the eagle's head turns slightly, its focus briefly drawn. Koba's heart leaps. This is his chance. He needs to create a bigger distraction, something to break the eagle's laser-like attention. Slowly, he edges along the branch, his movements deliberate, his body low to avoid detection. The eagle's eyes snap back to him, and he freezes, his breath catching. The predator's patience is maddening, but Koba knows his own endurance is waning. He can't wait much longer. This is the brutal, pulse-pounding world that forged humanity, where every second tested our ancestors' courage and cunning. Hooked on epic tales of prehistoric survival? Subscribe to Hidden Horrors and smash that bell to dive deeper into the terrors that shaped us. Drop a comment below. Could you outsmart a giant eagle? Share this video with your friends and challenge them to join the tribe uncovering humanity's wildest battles. The sun dips lower, painting the sky in hues of orange and crimson. Koba's hunger is a sharp pain now, his mouth dry as dust. The eagle remains perched, its talons gripping the dead tree like a throne. Koba knows he's running out of time. His small brain churns, piecing together fragments of experience. He remembers a time when his mother distracted a hyena by rolling a stone down a slope, sending the predator chasing after nothing. He needs something like that, a trick to fool the eagle's instincts. He creeps toward the thorny tree, moving inch by inch through the canopy. The branches here are thinner, creaking under his weight. He tests each one, his fingers probing for stability, his eyes never leaving the eagle. The predator shifts, its feathers bristling as it senses movement. Koba's pulse thunders in his ears. He's exposed now, the canopy too sparse to hide him completely. He needs to act fast. Near the edge of the grove, he spots a loose branch, dry and brittle, caught in a fork of the tree. It's perfect. He wraps his fingers around it, feeling its weight. The eagle's head tilts, its eyes narrowing. Koba takes a deep breath, his muscles tensing. It's now or never. With a quick jerk, he yanks the branch free and hurls it into the tall grass below. It lands with a rustle, mimicking the frantic scramble of a fleeing animal. The eagle's head snaps toward the sound, its body leaning forward, wings half unfurling. For a split second, its focus is broken. Koba doesn't hesitate. He leaps from the branch, dropping to the ground in a crouch. Instead of running for the open savanna, he dives toward the thorny tree, scrambling into its tangled roots and spines. The thicket is a labyrinth of sharp points, a fortress no wingspan can breach. Thorns tear at his skin, drawing blood, but he burrows deeper, ignoring the pain. The eagle screeches, a piercing cry that echoes across the savanna. It launches into the air, circling the thicket, its shadow sweeping over the ground like a dark tide. It dives once, then twice, its talons scraping uselessly against the thorns. The branches are too dense, the spines too sharp. Frustrated, it lets out a final, furious cry and soars away, its massive form shrinking against the horizon as it seeks easier prey. Koba remains still, his chest heaving, his body stinging from a dozen scratches. He's alive. The thicket, though painful, is his salvation. He waits, listening to the fading beat of the eagle's wings, until the sky is clear. Only then does he crawl out, trembling, exhausted, but victorious. As dusk settles over the savanna, Koba emerges from the thicket, his body battered but his spirit unbroken. The air is cool now, the stars beginning to pierce the indigo sky. He limps toward the stream, his thirst overwhelming, and drinks deeply, the water soothing his parched throat. The terror of the day lingers, but so does a flicker of something new, confidence, born from outwitting a predator no other creature in his world could challenge. This clash wasn't just a fight for survival. It was a crucible that forged the traits that would define humanity. For millions of years, our ancestors faced threats from every direction: land, sky, and everything in between. Each escape, each moment of cunning, honed their minds, strengthened their bonds, and fueled their resilience. The Haast's eagle, though a visitor from another time and place, represents the real dangers our lineage overcame. Fossilized skulls, like that of the Tong child, bear the scars of ancient eagles, a testament to the aerial terror that shaped our instincts. Koba's triumph is a microcosm of our story. His small brain, his quick thinking, his stubborn will to live, these are the sparks that ignited the human journey. The fear he felt, that primal dread of a shadow overhead, still echoes in us today. It's the unease you feel in an open field, the instinct to glance up when a bird passes by, the chill that runs down your spine in the dark. The Haast's eagle vanished 600 years ago, driven to extinction when humans hunted its moa prey to oblivion. But its legacy, and the legacy of every predator our ancestors faced, lives on in our DNA. What ancient instincts still guide you? Do you feel that primal pulse when the world feels too big, too open? Koba's story is a reminder that we are the children of survivors, shaped by a world of terror and triumph. Join us on Hidden Horrors for more epic battles that carve the path to humanity. Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video, and let's keep unearthing the wild, untamed roots of our past.